Disney's Avatar: The Way of Water is nearing $900 million in global ticket sales following the long holiday weekend. Our Alexandra Canal joined us now with the details. Allie, how much did weather affect the ticket? Because the gross for the first weekend it was out was kind of disappointing. So did this make up for that?
You know, box office analysts seem pretty encouraged by this number. Certainly the intense storms, the weather that we saw across the United States did contribute to a dip in overall moviegoing, but still domestically, according to Box Office Mojo, the film has grossed roughly $287 million. Per deadline, that number could jump to as much as $294 million once we receive the official results from Monday. A lot of folks off of school, off of work, so there is some encouraging signs that we could even see higher levels after the results from yesterday. And then internationally, the film grossing roughly $600 million overseas. And we always knew that the international box office was going to be a big driver for this film, very similar to the original Avatar. And these numbers actually make this film nearing $900 million, the fifth highest grossing film of 2022. And if we take a look at the top four, you'll see Top Gun Maverick high and above the rest, about $1.5 billion there globally. That was followed by Jurassic World Dominion, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and then Minions: The Rise of Gru rounding out the top four. So the sequel, I will say, for Avatar is outpacing the original film, and that went on to become the highest grossing movie of all time. So there are those signs that we could see more sustained momentum, especially as there's not that much competition. The next big movie is the new iteration of the Ant-Man franchise coming out February 17th. So from now until February 17th, it's pretty much just Avatar, but the film is roughly less than half of what it needs in order to be profitable. So James Cameron and Disney are hoping that, you know, word of mouth can sustain it over time.
And just real quick, this is just the first in a number of planned sequels and at least another one is already shot in the bag. Is that right?
Exactly. At least another one is already shot. I mean, it's been 13 years in the making for this sequel, so there was some concern that maybe people weren't as interested as they were in the past, but it seems like, at least right now, people are curious. They want to see it. The visuals have been amazing. There's been some question marks about the plot points, but overall, I do think people are going to go out and see this movie.
So when you talk about no competition between now and February 17th, really in the theaters, there's a lot of competition at home, right? And that's really the big differentiation point between now and when the last Avatar came out. One of the things that's competing for people's attention was Glass Onion, which was I guess you could call it the Knives Out sequel, although I was just reading that the director of the movie and the creator of the movie said he didn't even like that it said Knives Out on the title of the movie because it just has one character that carries over, the detective. But do we have any indication as to how that did yet?
Well, Netflix is going to release its top 10 list later this afternoon, so we'll find out exactly how well this film did then. But I do think we're going to see Netflix brag about this movie during its fourth quarter earnings review. The actual reviews on Rotten Tomatoes has been very strong, a 93% critic and audience score. The film was released in limited theatrical markets over Thanksgiving weekend, and although Netflix did not release the exact box office total, industry estimates had it placed at around 13 million. So there was a lot of talk that Netflix potentially left money on the table by not having a longer, more expansive theatrical release. And this film could be a critical turning point when we think about how streaming companies view the box office, that relationship with the box office. How can it leverage it in order to monetize more effectively? Because we're in this moment that Wall Street has been super critical about all of these media companies. Are you generating a profit? Are you, increasing your free cash flow? Box office could potentially be a good hedge against that, although Netflix has been very staunch in the fact that their streaming movies are just that. They're for streaming, but money talks at the end of the day.
They got my eyeballs, so that's a feat. I didn't watch a lot of shows over the holiday weekend, but Knives Out was one of them.
Everybody on our team saw it.
Yeah, and if you weren't going out to the movies due to this weather, chances are you're on your couch and you're scrolling on Netflix. So.
Yep.
All right, Allie Canal, thank you for that.